Golf might be a gentleman's game, but that doesn't stop the greatest golf stars from fighting in locker rooms, taking digs at each other, and even holding on to grudges for years. Some golfers just can't see eye to eye on the course, and no matter how hard they try to downplay the bad blood boiling on and off the course, they just end up igniting one of the most controversial feuds of all time. So what could be the cause of these rivalries? Well, there's only one way to find out. We're kicking off our list with the Singh-Mickelson feud. Vijay Singh has very few friends among his colleagues due to his antisocial behaviour, and some like to classify him among the least liked golfers. However, the feud between the pair happened at the 2005 Masters when Singh called over a rules official at the 12th hole, accusing Mickelson of cheating. The then chairman of Augusta National's competition committee, Will Nicholson, told the media, "One of our officials talked to Mickelson to see if there was a burr on the side of one of his spikes, and when he very generously said he would change them when he got in if there was a problem, there wasn't." Singh also told other players that Mickelson had left spike marks on the greens, and Lefty was visibly infuriated. When Mickelson got back into the locker room, he lost his cool and got into a heated exchange with Singh. Multiple golf news websites claimed sources said Lefty called Singh a mother in the exchange. Mickelson even asked Singh if he wanted to settle the issue outside. However, Lefty downplayed the incident, saying, "After sitting in the locker room for a while, I heard Vijay talking to other players about it and I confronted him. He expressed his concerns. I expressed my disappointment with the way it was handled. I believe everything is fine now." While one can easily assume that they are cool with each other, there's no love lost between these two, that's for sure. Next up is a feud between Sergio Garcia and Nick Faldo that wouldn't die down anytime soon. The Sergio Garcia and Nick Faldo feud has stood the test of time, and we might not see the end of it anytime soon. It's funny that this beef has lingered for more than 15 years. You see, it all started at Valhalla in 2008, when Faldo was Europe's Ryder Cup captain. The team suffered defeat at the hands of their American rivals, and Faldo wasn't too pleased with Garcia's performance. He revealed this at a 2014 event just 6 years later for Golf Channel, where he described Garcia's efforts in 2008 as useless. Referring to 2008, the former captain went on, "He was useless. Half a point, bad attitude." Anyway, we moved on 6 years later. Meanwhile, Garcia reacted 4 years later after becoming Europe's all-time Ryder Cup point leader. "This means a lot to me," Garcia said. "I've passed some of my heroes today and Nick Faldo." Faldo recently reignited his feud with the LIV Golf star after the Spaniard took aim at Rory McIlroy. Garcia's decision to ditch the PGA Tour for LIV Golf didn't seem to go down well with Rory, and the duo have since fallen out. The 2017 Masters champion called out McIlroy for being immature. "I think it's very sad. I think that we've done so many things together and had so many experiences that for him to throw that away just because I decided to go on a different tour, well, it doesn't seem very mature. Lacking maturity, really," Garcia said while speaking to The Telegraph. But Faldo fired back, saying Garcia is the immature one. The 3 times Masters champion took to social media and tweeted, "Now this is rich coming from the most immature player I've ever witnessed." But Faldo wasn't quite done yet. He decided to make fun of Garcia's anger issues in the Dan Patrick Show in 2019. Now that's a real-looking impression of Garcia. Big up Faldo. The Reed-McIlroy row. This is perhaps one of the most interesting and trending feuds in the golf world right now, and this epic clash between Rory McIlroy and Patrick Reed has ignited a firestorm impossible to ignore. So this is how it started. You see, Reed is among the many top players that have left the PGA Tour for the breakaway circuit, and this move was not well received by the PGA Tour player. So while Rory was busy with his golf bag at the Dubai Classic, Reed approached him to say hi at the driving range. But Rory wanted none of it, and Reed flicked him a LIV Golf branded tee. It appeared that Rory snubbed him, and he confirmed he did it on purpose. This sparked off a controversy tagged Teagate. You see, it all started after Reed launched a defamation lawsuit against different media organizations, while the lawyer representing the 2018 Masters champion in that case also subpoenaed Rory and Woods for their role in the players-only meeting that took place before the BMW Championship in August. Evidence of that emerged on Twitter, and it clearly says Rory was subpoenaed at 3:50 p.m. at his home in Palm Beach, Florida on Christmas Eve. Like, who does that? The guy was simply having a nice time with his family when the notice showed up. and he was obviously furious. Rory spoke about the incident, claiming that Reed wasn't living in reality. "I was subpoenaed by his lawyer on Christmas Eve. I'm living in reality, I don't know where he's living. If I were in his shoes, I wouldn't expect that hello or a handshake." Meanwhile, Reed felt that Rory's change of attitude towards him was because of his switching to live golf. He accused McIlroy of being immature. "He saw me and he decided not to react. It's unfortunate, but it's one of those things. If you're going to act like an immature little child, then you might as well be treated like one." While some of the feuds in golf are fueled by ego and lack of understanding, most of them have theirs rooted in the PGA Live Golf row. And this brings us to the PGA Tour Live Golf feud. For almost a year, this has been the main trending topic in the golf world. In fact, all the recent controversies among players are centered around the traditional tour and the Saudi-backed series. Live Golf has changed the game and even forced the PGA Tour to increase the earnings of its players and alter some of the rules of the sport, which no one ever imagined could happen. Immediately, the Saudi-backed tour came on board. Every top PGA player became the center of a story. Will he go? How much will they pay him? How could he leave the PGA Tour? And did it make a lot of sense because some players earlier diminished rumors of making the switch, only to go back on their words a few days later? It was becoming more of a tradition, and everyone was ditching the PGA Tour, following juicier offers and lesser events on the Rebel Tour. At the same time, the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour questioned the intent of the move and denounced it, banning golfers who signed with the Rebel Series. However, this did not stop the shark, Greg Norman, from delivering on his promises of breaking the PGA Tour monopolistic system. He criticized the banning of golfers by the American-based tour and stated that Live Golf was willing to coexist with both the PGA Tour and the European Tour. "We're not trying to destroy the PGA Tour or the European Tour. We're simply here to work within the ecosystem. We believe the golf world has plenty of space for another tour because it is a multi-billion-dollar industry." The animosity between the PGA Tour loyalists and the Live golfers was palpable, as they openly expressed their disdain for one another. And this led to yet another feud that continues to linger: the Cold War between Greg Norman and Tiger Woods. Tiger has been a staunch critic of Live Golf and has contributed to express his disdain for players who turned their backs on the tour that brought them to the limelight. Woods was reportedly offered $700 to $800 million by the Saudis, but he turned it down, declaring his loyalty to the PGA Tour. Woods called for the resignation of Norman for both tours to have a chance to agree, but Norman fired back, insisting he wasn't leaving. When the monopolist's territory is getting threatened, they're going to rear their ugly head and do what they do, Norman said. "But from my whole perspective, I've always taken the high road this year, and I'm going to be with Liv for a long, long period of time." Amid calls that Greg should be removed from his position, Norman's role as CEO and commissioner of the Live Golf League was actually strengthened, meaning more autonomy in running the second-year circuit. This is obviously one feud that wouldn't end anytime soon. But which of these feuds didn't come to you as a surprise? We'll see you in the next one.